J.P. White with SportsSpeak Sports, and this week's edition we have with us Judge Earl Stover III, District Judge, and your District Judge, and Judge Earl Stover III. Happy to have you here, Judge.
Good to see you, J.P.
Thank you. I know you're going to have to tell me some fun things. Did you play football?
I did.
You're big enough. I didn't measure you, but I want to measure you before you get out of here. Go ahead. Tell me about it.
Well, I played for the Silsbee Tigers under Coach McGallion, the great Stud McGallion, back in the late 60s. My final season was in 1970. And,
okay.
So we had a great team. I was sandwiched in between Darrell Ray McGallion and Coach Bobby McGallion. I got to play with both of those fellas.
All righty.
With their daddy as the coach.
There you go. Well, did you coach some little league, little basketball, something?
Well, I did some youth sports, with my daughters as they were growing up, and I've had to hang up my coaching hat since they've gone to college.
Well, listen, sports. What sports did your daughters like, and tell me something about that.
I got my daughters. They were just one of them's an opera singer, and the other one
opera singer.
Yeah, she
Go
sings
ahead.
opera at LSU, and the other one is a civil engineering student at Rice, and the little engineer was my athlete, and she played all the little youth sports around, but she was a soccer player and a golfer.
Golfer. She liked playing, but did she get pretty good? Did she get a chance to play somewhere else, maybe?
Well, the girls went to school at Kelly, and so they were on the golf team down there, and I ended up getting to be the golf coach at Kelly.
There you go.
That's right. Won district a couple of times, and Jana was a two-time district champion in the TAPS, the private school circuit. So had a lot of fun doing that.
Good. I'm probably roam around here and get all mixed up and all that stuff, but you are the son of Judge Earl Stover. He had to be Judge Stover II, right?
Well, they called him Smokey.
Called him Smokey.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, tell me something about him. He was quite an athlete in his day, wasn't he?
Sure, he was a lot better athlete than I ever was. Best I could do. I was lucky to get chosen all district in 1970, and with a lot of other great players. But my dad was quite an athlete. He came from Huntsville, Alabama. It was all state and everything there, and ultimately got elected to the Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. With some other distinguished fellows, but he ended up going and serving in World War II before he went to school and got a scholarship at Vanderbilt University in Nashville in the late 40s.
Okay.
I'll tell you a funny story about it.
Tell me.
As when he was playing in Vanderbilt, Nashville, that's where he met my mom. She was going to school in Nashville too.
Oh, okay.
And so they ended up having to go down and take a train down to Baton Rouge to play. And it just so happened that the year before, one of the Vanderbilt coaches left and went to coach for LSU. And he knew everything about the Vanderbilt team. And he happened to know that my dad was the only fellow that could snap the ball 15 yards back to punt. So LSU had a game plan that they were going to knock Stover out. So my mother is in Nashville listening to the game on the radio. And you remember the radio?
Oh, yeah, sure do. Yeah, you used to do that.
You did something with the radio, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was on the radio, and they came in, and these guys just blasted my dad, knocked him out in the third play of the game. And so he came to, later, and it was okay. But what brings the story around is that my daughter, Elise, ended up going to LSU. She got offered a music scholarship for opera singing. And so when she was considering going to LSU, told my mother about it. And mother was dead set against it. Said those LSU are dirty players, and they knocked your daddy out 50 years ago. And she still held a grudge to this day. But she's kind of lightened up now.
That's Juanita for you.
Yeah,
she's a nice lady.
She is.
She
was dead set against at least going to LSU because they had knocked my daddy out.
There you go. I don't blame her. I wouldn't like that either. That's streaming up for him.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. How'd the ball game come out?
I don't really know. That's kind of lost in the midst of history. How the game came out. But I'll tell you a funny story about how he got his nickname.
I'd like to know about that.
Well, back in Nashville, the football team at Vanderbilt was a big thing, and everybody came out on to see the game, and they had these sportscasters. You know a little something about sportscasting too, don't you?
Game or two.
Well, the sportcaster, he's up there calling the game, and in the late 40s there was a cartoon that came out in the Sunday paper called Smokey Stover. It was about a guy named Earl Stover. You remember the guy that had a funny hat on? Do you
Seemed like I remember that.
Well, it was a very popular thing. Comic strip back in those days.
Yes.
And so the sports announcer said, Dad made a play or something and called him Smokey Stover. And everybody thought it was so funny. So it stuck. And so of course my mother never knew him by anything but Smokey. It was always kind of funny when we go back to Alabama to see our family. His sister would say, "Now Earl." And so I would look up, and my dad had, kind of got used to being called Smokey, but he got named Smokey by a stadium announcer at Nashville, Tennessee, and named after a comic strip.
There you go. How about that? That's good. That's good. All right. I knew you'd have some good stories about your dad, and he was one of my best friends.
Well, I noticed that you got a picture of him over there. Y'all were calling the game there. He used to love the.
He was always good. He
color commentator, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He's a good one too. He could tell some good ones, and he did. And in fact, yes, that's Randy Stewart. He'd gone on too. Yeah, they were good. They were good. Well, let me think. Now I need to ask you something about your philosophy of. You can take a choice. Tell me something about your philosophy of being a judge or philosophy of life. You want to think about that, or you want to tell me something?
Well, I like the golden rule. Do unto others.
All right.
That's a kind of a good one to go by.
There you go. Okay.
Love a family and try to take care of your business.
How about the brag ghost?
The brag ghost. Now, I knew that was a pet subject of yours, but, I had my time of going out looking for it, but my group never saw it. So,
I want to say, well, Dr. Moody said he saw it.
Well, I believe it.
That is a sport. Wouldn't you call brag ghost watching a sport?
Well, I tell you, we went there, in church hay rides and, and then as teenagers. And so I guess there's some sport. Have you seen it?
I saw some lights. I don't know, but I had some pretty interesting things
happen. Can you
happen.
verify it? You want me to put you under oath and let's find out about it?
How about that? I tell you, it's pretty good. I usually tell my stories. So, do you think that Bragg Ghost did that to me?
Well, I think Bragg Light is a fun story. It brings some color to Hardin County.
So we were broadcasting. I'll tell you just a little bit. I'm not supposed to be talking when I'm interviewing, but I'm a man of few words,
Yeah.
We were broadcasting one night out there on the radio, and with Doug Buffington, a little lady from Kentucky, the three of us, and we fussed around about turning around. He said I couldn't. I said I turned around, and I wanted to go back because there's a light down there in front of us, and just as we pulled out and turned around, something like that hit the right back corner of my van. I said, what was that? You hear it on the radio, see? We got it later. I said, what's that? Doug said, I don't know, let's get out of here. And you hear the van go, takes off like mad. The next day or two, there's a dent around there in the back corner of my van. You suppose the brag ghost did that?
Well, either that or it's a runaway hog. I don't know what it was.
Oh, that's right. By the way, wild boar hunting's a pretty good sport. Do you suppose I could broadcast one on that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about that.
You didn't do any wild boar hunting?
No, I was a fisher and I hunt deer a little, but never wild boar hunting.
How about that? Well, okay. Let me think. I know. Did I ask you about golf yet?
Yeah, we talked about my golfing
But yourself, you got to coach it.
Well, I did. My daughters played, and we're very good. They still play with me. I'm lucky. I'm the luckiest. If you hear rumors about Judge Stover being on the golf course with good-looking young women, it's true because I have two beautiful daughters, 22 and 20. So
good. Do you have something that really happened to you in life something that you'd like, something outstanding, something unusual, something different, or something you'd like to tell me about? Something else? Did I throw that to you too late or too early or what?
Well, I kind of got consumed with taking care of my daughters. That's the greatest thing that's happened to me. I was one of those guys that never thought about getting married. Then I didn't think about having children. And once they came along, I just went plumb crazy about them.
All right.
And, it was involved in everything I could, and they're just the joy of my life.
I know that I've left some questions that I really want to ask you out, and I can't remember what they are, but is there some organization, promotion, or something that you promote that you want to plug for, or that you work with or do, or what, that you want to mention?
Well, there's one, we haven't talked about, my job as a judge.
Yes.
One of the things that we have to do is try to resolve disputes, amongst people. Yes. And a lot of times when you get to the courthouse, passions get high.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm interested in is the mediation concept, and we have mediation centers that are opening up around here, and that's a worthy thing that needs to be supported. And the First Methodist Church of Silsbee is provided a place for one of the mediation centers. And so those are a good alternative to going over to the courthouse and
arguing it out. Let them go sit down and talk it out and try to figure out what's the best solution.
If you can turn the heat back, sometimes you can find a solution that once you get in the courtroom, things get hot and heavy, and that's not necessarily good for families.
Judge Smokey Stover would be very proud of you, Judge.
Well,
I've been observing you and watching, and I don't come around the courthouse very much anymore, but I do know that you're doing a good job.
Well, it was great to be with you again. Being back here at the old radio station brought back a lot of happy memories.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
J.P. White, SportsSpeak Sports, where we talk sports and a lot of other things. So happy to have with us Judge Earl Stover, 88th District Judge.